Credit for maximum refund, Slay it. Max your refund at taxslayer.com. According to a report from the Sports Journal, Dubai's largest sporting news outlet, Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor, 2 will happen in the octagon with modified rules per report. Now, first of all, I was always a doubter on this. I didn't get the point. I don't think Floyd wants to be embarrassed. He's an old guy now, and he's rich. But there are 2 things now that lead me to believe it's going to happen. Number one is Dana White made Floyd Mayweather $100 million plus. And Dana White aggressively promoted Floyd and Conor for the fight. Floyd Mayweather likes Dana White. Dana White made him richer, and he trusts Dana White. Secondly, the UFC is in a kind of weird spot. Ronda Rousey's a star. She retired. John Jones was dynamic. He's done. Conor McGregor is crazy. We have no idea. And Brock Lesnar's sort of washed up and old. They may bring him over for another fight, but he left to wrestling. I was told something years ago, don't burn bridges, because desperation creates interesting relationships and opportunities. Don't burn bridges. You just never know when you're going to be desperate. You're never going to know when you really need somebody that today you think is a mortal enemy, a nemesis. Conor McGregor, you can hate him now. Dana White needs him. And he's got to fight somebody. And the UFC, like wrestling or boxing, is as popular as its stars. When The Rock retires to movies, you better have a Stone Cold, a Goldberg, a Roman Reigns, a John Cena. You better have somebody backing him up. Because in boxing, when Sugar Ray and Hagler and Hearns all left, they didn't have anybody. And boxing went down and down and down. I'd argue it's just now recovering. UFC's a viable sport. They got an issue. They don't have any stars. And desperation creates interesting relationships. Jason Whitlock, from the very beginning, has always believed, I didn't, he did, that Floyd would enter the octagon.
It is the money team. It is not the integrity team. And so Floyd Mayweather will do whatever is necessary to make more money. And when I look at Dana White going from, this is the worst thing that's ever happened, the Conor McGregor blow-up before UFC 223. It's the worst thing that's ever happened. It's disgusting. It's criminal. To, well, it's not that bad. And hell, Conor may be fighting next weekend. Who knows? That, to me, is about a cash register ringing. And Dana wants Floyd in the octagon with Conor McGregor. That's going to make the cash register ring again. Yeah, I think it's going to happen.
And I now, for the first time, think it's going to happen. I want to talk about something before I get to Christine, Jim Jackson, too, this hour. In every other sport, the MVP race is all about totals. In baseball, your total home runs, your total RBIs. In hockey, your total goals, your total assists. In football, how many touchdowns does Brady have? How many receptions and yards does this receiver, Julio Jones, have? In the big sports in this country, MLS, hockey, baseball, football, it's all about totals. Season's over, how many did you have? But in the NBA, it's different for some reason, and I don't know why. It's about averages. How many points did you average? How many rebounds did you average? How many assists per game did you average? In the NBA, averages, for some reason, it's the only sport in America, when it comes to the MVP race, we go to averages, not totals. In fact, if Carson Wentz of the Philadelphia Eagles was an NBA player, he would have still won the MVP. His touchdowns per game were higher than Brady. His winning percentage was higher than Brady. Wentz, as an NBA player, would have still won the MVP. By the way, Mike Trout, as a baseball player, he got hurt. It wouldn't have mattered if he was an NBA player, because Mike Trout had a better slugging percentage, on-base percentage, at bat per home run and RBI than Jose Altuve. But in basketball, for some reason, it's not about totals, it's about averages. But what if it was in the NBA like every other sport, and maybe it should be, about totals? What have you done over the course of the year? When I suggest LeBron's the MVP over Harden, I get major pushback. Let's go to the board on totals, the way it works in every other sport. LeBron wins all of them. In most instances, easily. Season for season, side by side. Bro, it ain't close. Congrats to Harden, who has more wins because he has better teammates. Just saying. Christine with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.
All right, so while you're hating on Oklahoma City for their 47 wins, which, by the way, literally between the third team in the West and the eighth team in the West are 2 games.
Yeah.
They're separated by 2 games.
That's it.
Okay, so they can move around a lot very easily. 47 wins.
Yeah.
The Cavs, by the way, last night reached just their 50th win, which is only 3 games more in the East, which is not as hard as the West.
Yeah.
And LeBron wanted all of us to pause.
He did?
And reflect.
He did?
On this accomplishment of 50 wins. And let me also remind you that 50 wins is what the Sixers have. But here's LeBron.
Throughout a long season, if you're able to accomplish feats, no matter what's going on, you should always try to appreciate it, try to take time. I've been I'm kind of like, been a hypocrite of that because I'm always moving and trying to figure out how we can be better the next day or whatever the case be. So it's always hard for me to be like, okay, another division crown, even after everything that's going on with our team and our ball club this year. But it's a pretty cool thing.
Okay, just in case you missed that, if you're able to accomplish feats no matter what's going on, you should always try to appreciate it. You, the guy who doesn't like celebrations, how do you feel about that?
I think LeBron this year is either trolling us or has gone into the first time in his 15-year career a very self-congratulatory mode.
Hey, as long as you admit it.
Yes, I have no problem acknowledging that I think it gets to an almost trolling level where he is on a weekly basis going to Instagram
weekly, daily.
Like a teenage, like my teenage daughter. He's going to Instagram to celebrate a grade.
Everything. And I'm glad that you brought up Instagram because yet again last night he did go to Instagram to congratulate himself once again. I mean, people get on me because they say every day all you do is bash LeBron or you go to his Instagram, but he does it every day. What am I supposed to do? Yeah. So this is a dunk. Great job. You should be dunking. You're LeBron. You're a star in the NBA. Congrats. Yeah. And he Instagrammed for himself. Up, and away.
Yes.
Let's continue to travel to parts unknown.
Yeah.
Hashtag season 15. Hashtag SFG. Hashtag James Gang with the little crown. Yes. Why don't you just go up, and away, LeBron, for like a little bit? Go 0 dark 30. When does that start? Come on. And speaking of the Thunder, they did clinch. 47 wins, only 3 games less. And here's Westbrook, your guy on that, and why they can beat anyone if they want to.
We know that we can beat anybody when we're playing our best, and that's the confidence we need. Obviously everybody's playing for something, one goal, and it's going to be the last team standing.
I'll tell you what, I'll say this. I don't remember a West or East. Mm-hmm. You have to go back to sort of the Jordan, Celtics, Pistons, Knicks, Pacers East. When you went into a first round of the playoffs and you're like, this is going to be, let's be honest, the first round of the playoffs, even in the West, it's you. The Warriors.
Well, the West is usually pretty good.
But, the Warriors swept everybody last year. So, how, you're looking at this year, between the Warriors' injuries, between KD's kind of personality change, Houston, Utah, Portland, T-Wolves, the Western Conference this year, first round is great. Forget, the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
The first round of the West is fascinating.
The East, I'm looking at the matchups if they were to start today, which is I think that's pretty locked in stone. It's boring.
It is.
The first round, the whole first round.
But what's funny, if you just took out, let's say Ben Simmons was not an NBA player. I mean, I think he ends up being one of the fascinating. He saves the East. We've seen LeBron's act a lot. I know what I'm going to get from the.
Consistent.
Yeah, but he'll win the first couple rounds. Ben Simmons, individually, I think really helps the East.
You know what I was thinking yesterday that's really bumming me out is that since I've lived in LA, there's always been at least one of the teams in the playoffs. This is the first time since, I think, 2005.
Yeah.
There isn't an LA team in the
I know.
playoffs, which I like going to at least see a little bit more
playoff games are
basketball.
great.
This is the last basketball I'll probably go to this year, unless I travel and go see it.
Yeah.
And finally, you brought up Floyd Mayweather and his fight against Conor McGregor, and there are reports that it will actually happen, but it's going to happen with modified rules. And I used to disagree with Jason Whitlock. I didn't think that this fight would ever happen because when I think of Floyd Mayweather, I think of money and I think of ego and which one's going to outweigh him. And I think the ego means more to him than the money, only a little bit.
Yeah.
And that he wouldn't want to be embarrassed in the octagon.
I agreed with you.
And I think we're both right, and we're still right, because apparently Floyd wants to change all the rules in order for him to go into the octagon. And here's all the rules. No kicks, no takedowns, no elbows, no knees, no shoes. Clinches will be allowed. 5-minute rounds. 155
it's boxing.
Weight class. Okay, by the way, there's probably, I would like to add a few. No jabbing, like if we did this in boxing, no jabbing, no uppercuts, no 2 punches in a row. Like, Conor never asked for that kind of stuff. But if we do this in the ring, like, what, you can't make eye contact with him either?
This is basically, they would call this dirty boxing. So what is being proposed now, there's boxing, but there's some things you can't do in the clinch in boxing.
Yeah.
The only thing that will be allowed that Floyd's never dealt with is what they call dirty boxing, will not be penalized, which is if I get Floyd into a clinch, I can hit him on the back of the head. You'll be allowed to do that. Otherwise, it's just a boxing match.
So why don't they just go play hockey together at this point? Because they're not really going to do anything UFC. They did boxing. I think Conor did it by boxing rules. If Floyd wants to do it by UFC rules.
I do
or
not.
Go play hockey
I
together.
do not disagree with that take at all. Conor was willing. Conor manned up. You got to give Conor. He was. I'm all going to your ring with your rules, and I give Conor McGregor a ton of credit for that. Mayweather, it's all about stipulations and qualifications.
Yes, because his ego is so massive, and it's over the money. And I actually think that this hurts Floyd's image if he does it like this, because he's admitting, hey, I can't do it by your rules. I know I'm going to lose, so I have to make this look a little bit better for me.
Yeah. Christine with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie
Played
News.
in the NBA for 14 years. He is now an analyst for us, and a darn good one. His name is Jim Jackson, and he's joining us here on a Tuesday. So people thought I was nuts yesterday. I said there have been 8 players in my life. I've only been watching the NBA since about 1973-74, Jim. Now, so I can't count Wilt. I can't count Bill Russell. I can't count Havlicek.
I'm with you there.
Okay, so in my life of watching the NBA 4 decades, 8 guys have changed the league. Now, I don't count Kobe because he's MJ light. He's diet MJ. And I think Shaq changed. Okay, and I said, you keep telling me Blake's going to be it and Giannis, and I'm like, no. But I got to tell you, I think Ben Simmons is going to be number 9. Am I nuts?
No. I mean, doesn't he look different when he's on the court? If you get a screen and watch multiple basketball games and kind of put Ben Simmons up and some other great players, and I had this comparison with Donovan Mitchell about Rookie of the Year. Donovan is amazing what he's doing in Utah. But if you put him up on the screen and you watch Ben Simmons, there's something about him that stands out. Something about him that makes you want to go buy the ticket to go watch him play. How he moves, how he sets up passes. Yeah, he has his flaws in his game, but he's young. But he just, the feel, the aura around him.
He's a 6'10" point.
Yeah, but it's an aura, too. Here's the thing. I used to say this all the time, that you can be in the room with Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Dominique Wilkins, and you feel something. But Michael Jordan walks in the room, he takes the air out. Same thing with LeBron James. You know, all these superstars can be in the room, but LeBron walks in, you feel something. You know, your hair stands up. It's just, you know that feeling?
Yeah.
Ben Simmons has that because he's imposing at 6'10", but the way he plays, he's powerful, yet he's athletic. He's smooth. He can get in between gaps. He shares the basketball. Teammates love playing with him. So he has something. What that is, I don't know. I wish
it's kind of an it.
Yeah, it's an it factor.
It's an it factor.
Yeah. And those are you think about it, those are the people that usually transform or transcend sports. And, you know, sometimes there's guys that are just as talented, but they just don't have it.
Listen, I think a big word is, here's my great eight. Kareem, Magic, Bird, Michael, Shaq, Duncan created a dynasty in Texas, LeBron, and Steph. I don't think Steph Curry's one of the 8 best players. He's eliminated the center. College basketball now, Villanova's become Golden State. The three-point shot existed for 30 years. The last 6, it's exploded. Steph Curry kind of changed the game. I think Ben Simmons is in that group, and I'll tell you, I just want to put this in context. He's a rookie. When Magic broke into this league, you remember it, Jim. He was great immediately.
Yeah.
By the way, I love Giannis. He's 5 years in. I love Davis. He's 6 years in. Ben Simmons is changing the East. He's played 80 NBA games.
Yeah, I know. And, you know, now, granted, he had that rookie year where he can sit and learn and watch and understand what being, more importantly, not just watching the game, but what being a professional is all about. And that's huge.
The travel.
The travel, everything. How to handle just the preparation to get ready to play. I think on that list, too, I think a player that you tend to leave out a lot of times as far as a game changer is Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson.
Yeah, that's,
you know, maybe not as international, but international to the sense that when Allen Iverson played, his jersey was in China was more popular than Yao Ming.
Iverson's the one player I get massive pushback on. I don't have an argument against him, but great and 8 rhymed. So I just said the great 8.
Okay, I give you that one. I give you that
if Simmons is in, I'll call it the fine 9.
Okay, 5.
Sometimes, Jim, it's just for television purposes.
All right, I got you.
Okay, I want to shift to this. You played for Pat Riley.
Right.
Okay.
Oh.
So LeBron, yesterday, Pat Riley's got a new book out, and it says, Pat Riley says LeBron was he was right for leaving. What did you take away on all that?
Listen,
know Pat Riley.
I played for Riles, and he is – think about the trajectory of Pat Riley. 77 to 79, he's doing color commentary for KTLA.
Yeah.
Okay? In 81, after Westfall gets fired, they bring in Pat Riley. So during the Magic, Norm Nixon years, he didn't have control. He wasn't the Pat Riley we see in New York. New York, on the sideline, controlling everything. In Miami, he was like the man. I walked in the locker room one time when I first got there, and we were all talking, kicking and having fun. Pat Riley walked in, Colin, it got silent. That's how much control he had, okay? Some days Pat would come in and speak, and some days he wouldn't because he never wanted you to figure him out. But I love Pat from this perspective that he held everybody accountable, 1 through 15. He was on Alonzo like he would be on me or anybody else because he knew he had to be on his best player. So I understand the ego that Pat Riley has. He hates to lose. He hates not being successful. And he hates when he doesn't have a level of control. And you think about the hierarchy there at Miami when Mickey Arison allows the president and the coach, which is Pat Riley, to kind of do his thing. I trust you in the decisions that you make. So it's kind of ironic that he puts this out a few years later saying that LeBron was right.
Is he trying to get LeBron back?
I've talked to several people down in Miami and said, does that make sense in regards to LeBron had to go back and eat his ego a little bit with Dan Gilbert.
But Gilbert came back on his knees begging LeBron.
Just what I was going to say. LeBron knew he could have control. Okay?
So is Pat saying, LeBron, I'm wrong?
I think I don't know how genuine it is, though, from LeBron's perspective because of what went down. A lot of the reason why, when I talk to a lot of people, why LeBron left was the lack of control.
Yes.
Because there's like, okay, bro, listen. Your boy's not going to be here. This is how we run things in Miami. We're going to be Miami with or without you.
Yep.
So, you know, we're not going to bow down. In Cleveland, they run everything. I mean, you want some popcorn? Go talk to some of his guys.
Oh, no.
You know
LeBron's
what I mean?
can't run the whole show.
Yeah, and you know, it is what it is. But that's LeBron exercising and knowing that, okay, Dan Gilbert, I got you. You said what you said, but now you're going to have to pay. And I'm going to hold you accountable, but I got something over you. You can't take control. I got control of this. And in Miami.
Never did. By the way, can I, hey, Sammy in the back here. I was saying this, in every other sport, NFL, baseball, hockey, MLS, in America, the MVP is decided on totals.
Yeah.
Total touchdowns, home runs, RBIs, goals, assists, whatever. Basketball's averages, I'm not really sure why, but if you go to totals this year between Harden and James, it's not even close.
I know.
It's 3 and 4 times the triple doubles. In the NBA, averages beat totals. But every time I say LeBron's the MVP, I get massive pushback. I don't really care about awards.
Mm-hmm.
But are we giving Harden the award because we're just tired of LeBron?
Oh, no, it's not like Harden hadn't put in the work. Let's not get that confused, because what he's been able to do in regards of evolving his game over the last few years to get to this point needs to be commended, because James started out as just a scorer, and we saw that he could be a leader and pass the basketball, get guys involved. But what does most valuable mean? You take LeBron off of that Cleveland Cavs team,
good hell.
Forget about it. You take James Harden, I think they're 6-3 when James misses games, okay? So it's a small snapshot.
But they're competent.
But they're competent because you got Chris Paul over there that can run the team. LeBron doesn't have that luxury. Listen, it's no reason why between Shaq and Kobe, it's only 2 MVPs between the two. It's no reason, okay? But Shaq's one of the most dominant players to ever play the game, and he has 1 MVP.
Isn't it?
Come on.
It's sentiment.
Come on. It does. If he's the best player and the most valuable, give him the award. Just stop with all the other. Well, this guy deserves it this time. Come on, man.
Come on. Doesn't work that way in other sports. It doesn't. It's like we're tired of LeBron being
Well, it's the same thing with Michael Jordan. When Karl Malone won it, it was.
Come on now.
When Charles Barkley won it,
I love Charles.
And I love Charles.
But
MJ was the best. He was the most valuable.
Yeah. Good seeing you, buddy.
You got it, man. Good to see you, too.
Jim Jackson bringing the heat today. Coming
told
up
me I
next,
didn't bring my A game.
I say, if you brought your B game, I was throwing you right off the set. Little crossover move. Coming up next, another story leaks from the New York Giants to the press. What are they saying? We'll tell you next. It is a fact. Attorneys are expensive. The average price is $300 an hour or more. That's why a lot of business owners turn to LegalZoom, which is not a law firm. Instead, you pay one low upfront price. You got an LLC, an incorporation? Yep. These are vetted independent attorneys, tax pros, available in every state. And they've created their business legal plan. And that gets you through some of the lease agreements, the new tax laws, NDAs that you may not be familiar with. Check out LegalZoom's business legal plan at LegalZoom.com now. Enter Colin at checkout, COLIN. Basically, where your life meets legal, LegalZoom.com, code Colin. 2 million Americans have used it to start their businesses, from incorporation to LLCs, lease agreements, changing tax laws, contract reviews. It's all parts what LegalZoom does well.